Okay, this is going to be a series of videos that I'm going to basically record. It could be my trading of the day, what I'm seeing. So basically, I could actually go over several days as well, what I look for in the morning, how I use market profile, and how I'm going to basically look into the markets. Hopefully, this could help you guys. I want to basically, you know, help other traders kind of like fasten up their learning curve as well, because it does take some time to really see things and go over market profile. I have several screens, so I'm gonna have to like move around from one screen to another from time to time. Hopefully that doesn't bother a lot of people. I'm gonna make this video very short. Hopefully it could help. This way we don't have to watch all my videos all at once. So I'm gonna try to have like a 5 minute video here of what I'm going to basically do in these kind of recordings that I'll try to give out privately to some other traders. Basically, what kind of zones and areas I look for in the market profile. As you can see this is the NASDAQ and also the ES with the market profile. This is actually June 3rd, 2020. So the overnight was pretty nice moves in the ES, but the NQ was a bit more volatile. I mean, again, you have to kind of be ready for volatility with NQ. You can't really just buy and think it's just going to move easily 30, 40 points without making decent pullbacks. So that's something that you always have to be careful with NASDAQ. We're having a day here, June 3rd, 2020, where the markets have gapped from yesterday's close. So this is yesterday's session, yesterday's profile. And on ES, this is also yesterday's profile right here. The white area is the previous day's session. And the overnight, again, we gapped. One rule, if we can't close the gap right away, be cautious. We really need some strong momentum to put some pressure on the markets to come back down. Here, I have it's weird because NASDAQ has not broken the initial balance yet, and ES has. So that's one thing I always want to be careful of. If we get Nasdaq running down, don't try to buy pullbacks on ES, because we could have like a day where basically all these buyers get trapped and we flush back in. We only had one period that traded inside yesterday's overnight, so that's another thing to say that yes. So that's one thing I always look at, just the fact that, again, the initial balance was broken on the ES, the NQ isn't. I'm playing with, today it's been a different day for me. I'm mostly going over, um, sorry I got interrupted a couple of times there. So once again, these videos will capture basically what I think in the ES. I'm gonna try to stick to like 1 hour per video. I'm gonna try to do like a series of 10 videos so that I could share with several traders privately. Once again, it's going to be, I'm not going to try to edit, cut, and all that with the videos, because it's going to be really, it's just basically trying to give you guys, some traders, faster way to learn certain nuances of the market profile, what I look for, what basically works for me, and which basically should be things that you guys should look at, the way I structure, what levels I have here, and what I want to see and what I don't want to see if I'm in a trade. Um, like I said, I think today is a day where I wanted to trade the micro ES and the NASDAQ, so that it could basically, I just wanted to see how, I don't want to get trapped in this gap, and I just didn't feel like it was a day where I wanted to basically buy and let it run. It was a bit of a tricky day, and I didn't want to, yeah, I didn't want to get into huge risks right off the bat. So I played with the micros. I just want to show you guys my recent results for today. So that's basically the results of um, the micro trading that I've done here today in my regular account. Nothing to say it's huge gains, but if you do this with you know consistency, it could definitely give you a good edge. I played MES and also NQ with the micros. So I'll show you guys here, trying to get into the mode where I can copy the results. Again, in this way of trading, you don't really want to look at maximum adverse expectant, what do you call it, maximum adverse excursion here, the MAE and all that, just because it's micros. Look, you gotta have to give it some leeway. You have to let it play around. So I had several. Again, I was trying to not to get into huge sizes, so I kind of kept it to like 4 or 5 contracts max. I think in the MES at here at that time I had 6 max. You see, so but I do get various fills. So I basically buy here, sell there. I'm gradually looking at levels where I could sell through the dome, which I use here. This is Jigsaw Dome. It has the power meters and all that. Maybe we can cover some days where I could just look at what I see with the power meters and how I got this. The kind of like personalized way to customize my way of looking at the markets. As you can see, I have the 15-second charts for NQ and for ES here. This is Nasdaq, and that's ES. Uh, Basically, just to have like a quick time frame view of the markets. Nasdaq's been stuck in a range for a while here. I've been looking at it. Look at that. So it's there. It's moving up, but it's less. It's not moving up with much more volume compared to the ES here, which is just going up. But it's one of those days where it could just continue going up for a while and not do anything for a while. So the way I play this is I'm going to try to see if I can get a couple of orders in on NQ here, and then the way I was looking at it is, again, the initial balance has not broken here in NQ, so we're still in that big volume node here. So that's 77 to 95. That's a 20-point range. Okay, so that's why you want to play these sometimes with micros, just to get your foot wet. Once I have 2 3 contracts that are basically in profit, I kind of want to scale them out. Just say like, so I can get a couple there. I already have 3 on. Let's see how this goes. And then I just want to basically not get into much trouble. Again, it's based on the fact that ES is still hovering at the tops. This is the 30-minute candles that I have on ES, and I have this mostly on ES, but I don't do it much for NQ. NQ, I have how you call it, the footprint here on the dome, on the Jigsaw dome. So basically, we're not too far from profits. We're right in the middle of this range here. It's 96 to 84. Um, if I can maybe add 1 or 2 here, let's see how the momentum goes, and then from there we'll see if we want to bail out, or maybe look, if we look at the market profile again, we're in this volume node. The open price is here. It's come to the open price so many times, so it's weird the way it's been trading today. Hasn't broken the initial balance, which is around 9,700. That would be a good target if you're long, and let's say you're accumulating long positions here. uh, I think the way you can play this is that you see sellers are basically getting absorbed at the bottoms every time it does a new low. That's how I'm seeing this. I have 4 contracts at the moment, so let's see if I don't want to maybe buy there. Again, I don't see any kind of major move on the ES here, but NQ could get a bit more volatile at some times. So let's see if I can get a nice move up here on the NQ. Other than that, for today, it's been that kind of session. We're playing around with how you call it, the micros. Hopefully this will be a nice series of videos that kind of help me and you guys to see what I want to do, how I see the markets. Nothing is really telling me that ES is majorly selling off. Look at the power meters. Nothing, when you look at the blocks, nothing really, no real pressure towards the downside. I'm gonna add some more on the NQ here if we can get some off at some point. Get a nice move up. Let's see. I'm at 5 contracts on the NQ now. That's again, it's the micros. I could go up to 20 contracts. All right, so that's something I rarely do, but it's this kind of day. I mean, I'm again, this volume node is the main play I'm looking at. It's been, gonna buy a bit in the middle, buy a bit in the lows, and then scale some off. It's a rotational day, and rotational days generally okay. So we have some decent selling coming in on NQ here. Nothing again. This is not the rare. This is not the exact way I trade every day, but I like to. I'm gonna play with the micros today just because it's probably going to be a rotational day. I have 6 contracts now, so like I said, I'm putting the sell orders just to get some off because my NQ could move a bit faster sometimes. Get some off when I could. I'm at 7 here. I'm gonna maybe initially have 10 positions, 10 here. The 77s is an area that I would like to add some more. It's the bottom of it's the bottom of the how you call it of the volume node that we were looking at. And again, look at yes, it's still hovering around the tops at the highs. We're 1121, so that's a scary moment in the markets in gap up days, just because it could be the beginning of a flush down. Hopefully, I'm not in this beginning, but let's see. What's the trade now? We're at 7 here. Nothing. We're at 9 contracts. Okay, so let's keep it at 9 for now. Let's see. Okay, we're getting decent momentum on NQ. I just hope we could get some more around the 36s. I don't want to really have that move much against me, but that's where NQ could really. Now we came back to the POC, so we're at point of control, a time point of control. I think this video is a bit longer than expected, but we're at 12 minutes here. Um, Again, time point of control, the open, it's been bouncing off this level so many times today. NQ and ES is still at the highs. I think this was just basically a way of, scaring a lot of retails and getting them into shorting the NQ, which I think will most likely be the start of an uptrend, up move. This is something that I always look at. I always want to sell a good chunk of my positions at the beginning, and then kind of reassess the position and the risk. So this is the position now. Hopefully you guys are able to see it. I've got 9 on. I want to basically protect these positions here. I'm going to go in, sell to there. I'm going to be a bit more strategic here. Like I said, I still think NQ could give us a nice pop above that high volume node, the 95s, the 9700s, and then and move much beyond that if that does work out. So I have 5 contracts left. I will scale 3 out there. I'm gonna leave these closed. I'm gonna close maybe 1 or 2 up there, and hopefully this could maybe give us some more exposure. Let's see if we can get some more here. We'll buy more here. Let's see. That didn't buy. I think. What was that? Let's see here. So you see these inflection points, right? So I'm seeing that 85 held, and I think I saw that hold two or three times. So that's like an inflection point. That's where I want to decide. Okay, do I add more below, or maybe close some off? That's where you want to be a bit more. And 85 isn't holding, so I'm gonna be a bit more strategic here. I have 5 left. 4, 5. Let's be cautious here. Let's just not have much to hold. Okay, and that's done. What was the trade on that one? Yeah, it wasn't a very good trade, honestly. I think I really did not manage that well. I could have done much better with that. I think now we're turning into an area where, look, ES is still hovering around there, so nothing major, but I'm seeing decent selling coming in. That's a bit risky, but I mean, if you want to play the micros this way, it's really the best way to do it. Um, ES 3112. Let's look at 3112. We'll look at 3112. I think 3112 has been holding one or twice there, and I mean that's going to kind of be my gauge to see if I want to still play the long side on this or be a bit more cautious. We're right in the middle of that volume node that NQ has created. So basically, that could be a way of not looking into being too aggressive on the long side, but I think I'm just looking at the tape and I can't see the small time frames on the ES holding the market down. It doesn't look like it wants to go down, but let's see if NQ wants to cooperate here. I don't have any positions here, but it's been that kind of day. I've basically gone in, gone out, managed it, and this kind of like gives you a good way of not taking over extended risk. Let's see here. Again, I can't see why the sellers will be in control here. I mean, I'm looking at the tape, I'm looking at ES, at NASDAQ is just giving decent high volume towards the upside with its, but if it could just start going, I think I'm going to add more, but it, it's one of those days where it just doesn't want to move very quickly. I'm at 4 contracts here. Let's see how this goes. If it starts moving, we're going to start selling. I'm still aiming that 96, 9690, 96, 9,700 area. Let's see, a nice view here. Okay, so a bit of selling. You see, every time there's selling that comes in, buyers push back. Wow. Okay, so 9682. 82. I want to see 82 hold. Right? You see the buyers are in 82. 82. Let's see. Does 82 hold? 82, 82. Yes. So I think we're gonna have to add some here. Gonna be a bit more aggressive. I want to see that 82 holding. Looks like it wants to hold. We're at 7 contracts, so I'm gonna have to start peeling some off at some point. Uh, just doesn't want. Yeah, 82 is holding. You see that 82? It's beautiful. This is what I love about the markets. I'm just gonna, if I have 5 contracts here, so 82 looks like it wants to hold. 82 is an inflection point for me. I'm not gonna add more here. I'm just gonna be a bit not greedy, but being, this is the kind of market where you could easily get into a bad position and this thing goes against you. So I don't want to be very aggressive, but that 82 has been holding, man. My gut level saying that 82 wants to hold, and it's been holding. Like, okay, now is 82 going to become a resistance here? That's how you look at the markets. The markets, it's an inflection point. 82 has been holding, and now 82 is becoming resistance. If I was really, the thing is, I'm not biased to the downside. That's the issue why I'm seeing a single print here on ES. Okay, where is it? Single print on ES, right? This is showing that buyers are pretty damn strong, and that 82, we're not trading much far from it, you see. And that's the reason why I can't see why ES and the NQ is really not, there's no major correlation between them. You see ES has already broken the initial bounds, NQ is still in that high volume node. I'm trying to look at something that I generally always forget to look at, but it's a really important detail. I just want to show this here, this way. Look at all this. There's like a lot of red deltas in this area, and a lot of red deltas in this area. I mean, is this normal? You know what I mean? That's what I want to look at. NQ could trade a bit weird sometimes, some days, but this is not normal trading for NQ. And now we have a poor low here, so that E period came one tick to the bottom of D. So that could maybe tell us that the market wants to go and explore a bit lower. Let's see here. The highs in NQ are still okay, but again, that's why I was saying we're 11:32 Eastern now, and it could be the period where NQ, I mean, on a gap up like this, NQ or ES could basically gap back down and try to fill that gap. That's always that 11 to 11:30-ish, and now NQ went and just repaired that low, which is exactly what I was looking at, you see. And am I getting decent selling pressure on NQ? Not really. So you know what? My gut feeling says this is just going to be the beginning of something, and I'm going to have to add some contracts here. So again, playing micros here, I'm going to have to be a bit more aggressive. I'm at 4 contracts. I'm trying to get to 4 or 5 good contracts and then move it up, right? So that 82, we're back to that 82. We touched it, and the market didn't really move much against me on that. So if I can get some out of the way there. Okay, so we're at 2 contracts. Gonna keep that. Boom. This is where I want 82 and up beyond. You see, this is how I play with the dome. I want to see if the dome, that 82 that I was looking at, I want to see that become like technically support. If we can get support on 82, I'm going to buy anything that's above 82. That's my inflection point that I've been seeing on. And if we go back, I think I just got stopped out. So you see, NASDAQ is really weird today. It doesn't want to move on. It just doesn't want to get into the beat of you know get it's been that kind of day. It goes up 10-15 points, but obviously in these 30-minute rotations you don't see the rotations. But if I show you guys on the look at this, what is this? It's a rotational day in Nasdaq. It just doesn't want to, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. And if you're buying here, I mean, are you selling here? Are you know what I mean? You really need to be nimble and you have to play it with it. It's not straight up and it's not straight down. So these kind of days, it's gonna be that kind of day. Look at ES. ES is doing a whole different scenario, and it just doesn't look like NQ wants to really follow it. But I'm still convinced that we should be only be looking on the buy side on NQ here. And I've got only one on here, so I'm putting some trades in here. Let's see. Oh, it's that 82. I really want to get aggressive above 82, but I've been stuck to it for a while now here. So let's see if I can get 4 or 5 contracts on NQ here, and really start the move up. It would be nice, but we're really in the middle of that high volume node. Again, I'm being a bit more aggressive because I'm playing the micros here, but it's been that kind of day, honestly. And I haven't played the AS because the problem with ES is I missed these pullbacks, right? And I did have ES positions today. I did go with the ES a bit today, and missing those positions now it would be FOMO, right? It would be like, oh yeah, really bad timing to try to, you know, get into positions here, and I just want this 82 to fly, man. It doesn't want to fly. It's crazy how NQ has just not been able to get above that 82. Okay, so we've got some decent selling here. Nice volume here. Let's see if that volume do anything. What is it? 77. Okay, let's see. Oh, doesn't look like it hurt. It's like selling off, and then buyers are coming back in. Selling off, buyers are coming back in. Let's see. Let's just follow the momentum here. Let's not add anymore. I have 9 contracts at the moment, so I have some sell orders that are ready to execute if we're back into that open. NQ open has been protected so many times today. At some point it's probably going to crack, but let's see. So I have 8 positions on at the moment on NQ. Just wanted to share my info here, the contact info as well. If ever you guys needed to contact me through Twitter or any other social media. So 8 contracts. I'm still looking at selling more here. I want to get rid of a good chunk of those. I just still think it's a rotational market. Don't need to be aggressive, but it really is towards the buy side. And I think 82, 84 has been a good inflection point where I'm going to take some off if it gets there. I still think it could. I mean, like I said, I'm willing to go up to like 15, 20 contracts with these micros. And normally speaking, not get too overly excited about the downside here. And as you can see, it does, the buyers are coming in, buyers are present. And I'll update you guys, trying to not go over an hour in these sessions. So here we are. I have 6 positions on NQ. I'm going to leave 4 runners. I really want to be a bit more aggressive on this. I'm going to sell 2 here, and then I'm going to go aim for that 9,700, which is the high of the day. I'm going to sell 1 or 2 there. So I have 4 left. I will sell maybe 2 if it gets there. I will be a bit more cautious just to take some profits on maybe another one. If I can get to 2 here, I will take this one off and leave 2 runners here. It's been that kind of day. You see, more you look at the markets, more you see how Nasdaq behaves, more you will say, okay, well, look, I know what this thing wants to do, and you kind of want the market to do exactly what it generally does. And here, I want to see what I've been talking about here. The Nasdaq. Here we are. It's in that high volume node. I was saying anything that goes down here, I think it's still a good buy, at least to the middle, and the best target would be to the top. So you want to play the micros this way. You really want to have a structured view of what you generally see in the markets and what you generally would see with NQ. So I've got 2 positions here. I'm not too afraid of that one, honestly. I'm going to leave it at that. And hopefully this will give us a nice gain on the NQ position. I went up to approximately 18 contracts here, and I'm going to leave those 2 runners. I don't really care about the last 2, actually. I mean, look, I could actually add on because I still think that this, I mean, 90, what is it, 74 to 65, it's a good buffer to add in. If you really want to be risk averse, you could go like that, buy one there, add some here, add some lower. uh, Again, I wanted to get it to 82, which I think it got close to, and I've been seeing that 82 being really retested several times. And I think it's something that I mentioned. It's been up, down, very, very, very rotational day today in NQ. And that's not generally the way it would do it. It would just basically it moves around much faster than that. But today is a weird day. All right, so for now, I'm gonna try to keep this at 30 minutes max. I will upload it on YouTube, and it's just basically to give you guys an idea of how I'm doing it today. This is June 3rd, 2020, and if you want to look at the ES profile, that single print is still holding. That 3110 is probably going to act like a magnet on ES. I would do this, put that level, and I want to see that level today. I want to see that inflection point. How are buyers, if buyers get trapped above this, this is going to be like my bias for the next couple of days. And I just have that feeling that it might want to, if it does trap the buyers today, that could be the level to bias short for the several next days. We'll see. On NQ, there's nothing that I'm seeing at the moment other than the fact that it's been rotating from the lows to the highs of this high volume node. Try to avoid the middle. I got caught with some positions there, but that's not the end of the world. I mean, I was really comfortable with that, and I'm being very cautious on it anyway. I'm gonna leave 2 contracts here. I'm gonna let those 2 run, and that should be a decent gain for me on the NQ. It was a good position size that I had so far. If we look at my day, I'm above $250 just in micro trading basically today. And I can show you that here. It's on my other screen here. Give me 2 seconds. So it's that kind of day so far. Like I said, I think I was able to close some of the micros. So the gains, it's not exactly the way I thought it played out, but it's not bad. I mean, green is great, right? So that those two micros are still on. I'm gonna leave it at that. So you see, I started the day with all these micros, 254 for the day. Okay, rotational, nothing too crazy. It's okay. I want to keep it at that for today. And I'm gonna be a bit more busy with other stuff, so maybe afternoon we'll see how it plays out. If I look at the 30-minute footprint on the ES, what I'm seeing is that generally speaking, you see the range here was good, and we basically came back to test that range. This is the highest delta in this 1030 candle, the lowest delta, and I'd like to see those ranges. And I mean, the gray shaded things are areas are liquidity that the market went to get. So it's been getting all this liquidity. The delta has been moving up all day, so that's a sign of like price action is very normal, which means that it's been going up with decent buying. And every time from the highs, all the selling from as soon as it makes a new high, then the sellers are basically absorbed by the buying. Again, negative here, absorbed by the buying, negative here, absorbed by the buying. Unless this pattern changes, I would not want to look into shorting ES today. And I think my NASDAQ position just got closed because I'd left those two contracts at break even or very close to break even. Hopefully this helps. I'm gonna do, like I said, various series of videos. It's gonna be basically my structure of day, what I look for, what I've been looking for on NQ, what I've been looking on with the ES, and how I see the profiles. Um, Again, once again, I have all these structural levels coming back from various days. The way I see this is, you see the single print here never got retested. We've got a volume node from the overnight. This single print is still there. These are areas where buyers could step up. These M period excess we had from yesterday. So that's, I just pointed that out with the M, the red colors here, the red and red. This M period market never even wanted to come back into this level. So all day it's been look for longs on ES. I played the NQ most of the day. I just felt that the rotations were a lot easier on NQ. Although ES did that single print and did not really give me a good entry. Now it's a bit too late with all this weird, yeah, it's distribution here, distribution here, distribution here. So I don't want to play the FOMO game with ES today. And I think it's better off trading ES maybe tomorrow, or if I could see buyers get trapped here. If I see 3, 4 TPOs, basically time frames here, and then market comes back in with high momentum, I could maybe look into shorting that with that 3110 as a bias for the short side to keep for the short side basically. All right, so hopefully that helps, and I will upload this on YouTube. And once again, I want to share my contacts. Hopefully that could be a way to, you know, give you guys ways to look into the markets. Here is my contacts information, and let me know by Twitter if you guys want to discuss other stuff. All right, enjoy your day.